Hi there, I'm Mike, and what I have for you today is a recap of Hasbro PulseCon 2020 Friday, Day 1. If you weren't familiar with what happened today, this is the schedule on the screen of the day. There's going to be a similar one for tomorrow morning, so if you want to show up, but you want to show up for something you care about, go ahead and check this out. Hasbro's had this posted for a long time, and I genuinely don't understand all people complaining in chat, not knowing when things are happening, despite the fact that there was indeed a schedule. But yeah, so the con started off a little slow with some things probably a lot of people don't care about, mostly because they weren't specifically toy-based, and Hasbro is kind of a toy-based company, but they have other properties. So they actually started off with Magic the Gathering. I actually played Magic the Gathering a lot back in the 90s and somewhat every now and then for the last 5 or 6 years, but I'm definitely not into it. Like, don't collect it. I don't have any decks even right now. I don't have any cards. But I have played it and I do understand it. That being said, they wanted to show off their new expansion, I guess is what you call it. It's Zendikar Rising. And that's fine. If they want to talk about it, it's great. I was a little tired. It was really hard to kind of make my brain listen because the guy that was talking about it, Mark Rosewater, wow, that has to be the biggest Magic the Gathering fan in the world. As a person who has very loosely followed Magic the Gathering since the late 90s, I understood some of the words coming out of his mouth, but he clearly is fully immersed in the world of Magic the Gathering. He's also always at a 10. Although I have to say, it's cool to have someone that passionate about something they're involved in, and I honestly wish that we had someone with that much enthusiasm in charge of Transformers and Star Wars, because that guy loves Magic the Gathering. Next, there was a Dungeons & Dragons panel. Again, I'm not a big fan of Dungeons & Dragons. I've maybe played 2 games of it over my entire 38 years of existence. But I do know the lore, and I've played games like Baldur's Gate, and I've read the books and things like that. So I do follow it, which is why I'm actually pretty happy with the reveal of the Drizzt character. If you don't know who Drizzt is, that's fine. He's a very prominent character from Dungeons & Dragons, and I am way into this. I definitely want to support this so they'll do more, because I need a Minsk and Boo figure more than anything else. Drizzt looks great. He comes with an alternate head, alternate hair, alternate hands, both his swords, effects for his swords, and his jaguar thing, Guinevere. He also has a nice big package, and it has gorgeous artwork on that package. He retails for $39.99. He's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and pre-orders went live as soon as the HasCon ended at 5 p.m. During the panel, though, I have to say the hosts were not great, but especially Shelly. She clearly hates action figures. She actually said at one point, "I live with a fan of action figures, so I know a few things about them." Ugh, I groaned so hard. And then they had Matthew Lillard on there of Shaggy fame, and he's a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan, but he's also a pretty big toy fan. He has a company where they do boxed releases of Dungeons & Dragons expansions. It's like a whole thing. But she shamed Matthew for playing with toys in high school, and Greg for having toys in the background of his video. Honestly, I don't know what this person was doing on the convention. If she doesn't like toys, I feel like she doesn't have any place on here. In between each panel, they had a host sort of introducing the next segments. She didn't do a lot, but she did read some comments, which she read one of mine, which was nice. But she also talked about how she really liked having big, meaty lightsabers in her hands, and that became a running joke in the comments for the rest of the thing, because who in their right mind describes a lightsaber as meaty? Anyways, after the Dungeons & Dragons panel was a D&D tips panel, and it was hosted by Joe, I'm going to butcher this, Joe Manganiello. He actually was the actor that played Flash Thompson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. He's done other things too, but that's what clicked for me when I saw him. Apparently, he's a huge and avid Dungeons & Dragons player. That's all I have to say about that panel. It was kind of boring. Next up, though, he also hosted the Hero Quest panel. Hero Quest is something I talked about in the preview because they announced it as a HasLab project that launched that day, a couple days ago. It's kind of cool that it actually funded within 24 hours of going live. So good job, Hasbro, and good job to all the people that really wanted it. They reached their $1 million goal and they actually keep going. I believe they actually hit 2 stretch goals already within a couple days of it going live. And they're going to keep announcing more. I'm not really going to go into it because Hero Quest isn't like my thing. I don't really do board games, but I'm, again, really happy that there are people out there that love this and that it's getting funded and that it might get some more stuff. So good job to you guys. And that's pretty much it for the non-toy stuff. I mean, it's a little toy based, but everyone in chat was, here for Star Wars and Marvel Legends because that's what they talked about today. So the Star Wars panel finally started. The first thing they did was they recapped the HasCon sale that started on Wednesday and Thursday. The sale actually went pretty nicely. I got everything I wanted on the preview day, the Wednesday. That was for Hasbro Premium members. I got the Wampa, I got the Heroes of Endor set, I got a couple other pieces as well. And actually, the pre-orders are still up, but they are pre-orders. So when I ordered it, I'm going to get them soon, but you can pre-order it and they'll come out in 2021, which I think is actually a pretty cool thing for the people that really want it but couldn't get it. So the next thing they did after that was they showed a trailer for The Mandalorian 2. It's a trailer we've all seen before. It's a fantastic trailer. I love it, and they really wanted to hype The Mandalorian, which that's fine. Give me some Mandalorian action figures. I also want to say that I misunderstood what Mando Mondays was. I said that it was something that was going to happen every Monday up to the release of The Mandalorian Season 2, but it's actually something that starts the Monday of The Mandalorian 2, and every week they're going to be revealing merchandise and things from, I guess, Season 2 of The Mandalorian. But that's the Mando Mondays. I was mistaken about that, so I just want to correct that. So next we had some vintage collection reveals. I know there's a lot of rabid 3.75-inch scale collectors. That's what the vintage collection is. So anything here listed as the vintage collection is a 3.75-inch figure. The first four are actually re-releases from older sculpts, but with some sculpt updates and paint updates. I think it's cool that Hasbro's doing this for the people that are more recently getting into it or missed some older figures. I know that's actually one of the reasons why I got out of that scale, because it's been going so long. I feel like there were figures I was never ever going to get. So it's kind of cool that Hasbro's going back and re-releasing these. They're re-releasing 4 updated sculpts. The first one is episode 2 Anakin. It has the digital face printing and a really nice soft goods kind of cloak like he wore in the movie. That looks pretty good. Next is a battle droid, which again looks great, something the army build. The next is Queen Amidala in like her darker robes, which looks pretty good. And finally, we have the TIE Fighter pilot. So those 4 figures were announced. I don't collect it, so I don't really care that much, but I just want to, go over everything so you guys could see it. There were 2 new figures announced. First was Captain Rex. Captain Rex will obviously go with the 501st figures they just released as part of the HasCon exclusives, so it's kind of nice to have more named clone troopers, especially someone as popular as Captain Rex. The next thing they did was they announced the Incinerator Trooper, which again looks great. He is just a little stormtrooper with a great paint job, a shoulder pauldron, and a flamethrower accessory. So what's not to like about that? So that's it for the basic vintage collection. There's one other that I'll talk about in a bit, but that's the basic vintage collection reveal. So there was some new stuff there and some re-releases of some older stuff, but yeah, I do feel like it was a little light. That brings us over to the Black Series figures. Just a reminder that anything Black Series is 6-inch in scaled. First up, they showed off the Phase 1 Clone Trooper. This is using the updated body released in the last wave, so it looks great. And now that I've completed my rainbow assortment of Phase 1 clones in the old style body, I can't wait for them all to become obsolete as Hasbro releases them all with this new mold. So can't wait to spend even more money on clones. Next, they showed off a deluxe figure coming out next year. This is Jar Jar Binks. In my very first wishlist video, I teased about wanting him, and now I kind of actually do. Although I would have loved an alternate head with tongue sticking out, it does come with a lot, and the sculpt looks fantastic. It comes with a boomer, a shield, a spear. I really do think he looks nice. He's $30, and like I said, he comes out sometime next year. The next thing they revealed was a deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. This instantly got my attention. It is very clearly a brand new sculpt, which looks fantastic. It comes with quite a few accessories. It comes with a regular blaster, a blaster that's been cut halfway through with a lightsaber, and I'm very much looking forward to having that. That's a really cool idea for an accessory I probably wouldn't even thought of. So I like where Hasbro's brain is going there. He comes with a flamethrower accessory for his gauntlet, and he comes with a grappling hook accessory for his gauntlet. Just like Jar Jar Binks, he's $30, and I wish he did come with like a flame stand so he can look like he's taking off or landing, kind of like that 3.75-inch figure did. I really can't complain that much. This Boba Fett has the potential to be figure of the year, so I'm very much looking forward to getting that. And again, that comes out next year as well. The next figure revealed was Darkside Rey from Rise of Skywalker. She comes with her switchblade lightsaber and she's got the kind of robes and she looks all Sithy, and honestly I think she's gonna look pretty good with my Sith in my collection. Next we got an Incinerator Trooper. This is actually already leaked, even in boxes. A whole leak happened last week, so it was kind of disappointing, and they didn't actually show off most of those, but they did show off the Incinerator Trooper. It is the new Stormtrooper body style. Just like the 3.75 inch figure, he comes with a flame accessory to go with the flamethrower, and that looks awesome as well. Honestly, I think it'll look great with Baby Yoda on the shelf to push his flames away. The next figure showed off was the rumored and leaked Armorer. We've seen the armor in the regular release boxes, or you can if you Google it anyway. But this is going to be a Hasbro exclusive version. It's on Hasbro Pulse. It comes with extra kind of forging effects and a helmet to be forged with there. And it looks like it has soft goods for the fur, whereas the regular retail release looks like it doesn't. That goes for $29.99, and it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I did end up ordering this one, but it is sold out at the time of this recording. The next thing they showed off was the Archive Collection, the next wave of Archive figures for a 2021 release. Obviously, we knew about Commander Cody. It was a fan choice winner. The next one revealed was Hoth Luke. Luke has a digital face printing, but also a cleaned up non-bloody face that the original had. Also released to go with that was Hoth Han. They made a definitive color choice for his jacket, which is brown, and he also has the digital face printing. They said they wanted to put these in with the 40th anniversary figures, but they couldn't find a place to do it, so they're inserting them here into the Archive line. And lastly, rounding out the 4-figure wave, as every Archive release is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He does have an updated digital face print. You might say, oh, does he really need it? And I say, yes. So I think that this is going to look fantastic. Unfortunately for Thrawn, though, these are going to come in the blister packs like the rest of the Archive line. Although they're going to have a new Lucasfilm logo on it because it's, I think, the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm or something like that. So it's unfortunate for Thrawn that he's not going to fit in with the rest of the Rebels in the new packaging, which kind of sucks, but I'll get over it. Next, they announced the Holiday Edition of figures. These Holiday Edition figures were leaked last night. At least 2 of them are, but it turns out there were 5 in total. They are fun, festive repaints of already released figures. Unfortunately, they are going to be exclusive to certain stores. First, we have the Snow Trooper. He has a festive scarf on, which I love. He's a Walmart exclusive, and each one of these does come with a fun little kind of buddy. They're calling it a holiday buddy. The Snow Trooper comes with a fun, festive Porg. Next, we have the Sith Trooper. That's a Best Buy exclusive. And his buddy is a little repaint of Babu Frick. Next, we have a Clone Trooper. As far as I can tell, this Clone Trooper is using the older style body with the double jointed arms and legs, which isn't great, but who cares? Look at him. He looks adorable. He's got a fun festive sweater. He's all red. And he does come with another little festive Porg. That one is GameStop exclusive. Next, we have the Amazon exclusive Stormtrooper. Like the Clone Trooper, he has a fun holiday sweater, and he comes with a snow Porg, basically a Porg that's all white. Again, he is using the older Stormtrooper mold, which I'm not a big fan of. I thought that the carbonized one was going to be the last one used, but apparently I was wrong. Who knows how long Hasbro is going to milk this old mold. And finally, we have the Target exclusive Range Trooper, which is done up like good old Santa Claus, and he comes with a fun little Dio reindeer. All of these retail for $24.99, and for the most part, they are up for pre-order. Target, of course, is already sold out, but I have been assured by Toy Shiz himself that Target should get plenty of these in stores as we get closer to the holidays. Also, as of the recording of this, Best Buy's is not up for pre-order yet. Next, we're moving away from figure announcements. They announced a new lightsaber in their bigger, cooler Force FX lightsaber line they've been doing recently. It's a very meaty lightsaber announcement, if you will. It is Ahsoka's lightsaber. Just like Darth Revan's, it does come with a color-changing kyber crystal and some extra effects, and it does look pretty cool. It looks like it has really high quality, but I don't collect these, so I don't super care. And then they had a little panel with the designer of a lot of Star Wars vehicles over the years. His name is Marc Bourdreau. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's French. There's a lot of letters in there that you just don't pronounce. But he designed basically the first Millennium Falcon toy and a bunch of toys in between there. And he just recently retired, so they had a little kind of mini panel where they interviewed him, and that was fun. It was fun to watch. Lastly, on the Star Wars panel proper, the big Star Wars panel, they did announce their new HasLab. It is the Razor Crest. I called it. It's going to be huge. It's like 30 inches long and 20 inches wide. And it's got a full-on cockpit and a rear cargo ramp and a side entrance and a weapons locker. And it comes with a Beskar Mando. It just looks really good. And I'm super glad that I don't collect the vintage collection. Even in the grayscale without any paint on it, it still looks good. They need 6,000 backers by November 9th. They are going to have stretch goals, much like they did with the yak face for the barge. My guess is it's going to be the Child, which is an obvious choice. The stretch goals start at 8,000 backers. Again, reminder that it doesn't charge until the last day, so November 9th. If you're going to do it, do it. Don't wait on it. Go ahead and jump in it, because the more people that jump in it, the sooner you'll unlock your stretch goal. Next, they did a Clone Wars panel. There weren't any announcements here, but it was a genuinely fun panel to watch. It had Ashley Eckstein and D. Bradley Baker, who played Ahsoka and literally every clone on the show. I did find a very disturbing lack of Cad Bane announced during the Star Wars panel. I thought for sure we were going to get an announcement for him on this panel, because it was specifically a Clone Wars panel and he hadn't been announced yet, but I guess we're going to get that sometime later. So the last big panel of the day was the Marvel Legends panel, and there was a lot here. And if you're a Marvel Legends collector, I feel bad for your wallets. Mine already hurts, and I only collect Star Wars. So first they did a little recap of the 2020 year so far, and then they basically jumped straight into some announcements. Everything that I talk about here went up for pre-order as soon as the con ended. So if anything looks good here, go pre-order it. First, we have the role-playing weapon of Stormbreaker. This is a person-sized Stormbreaker you can have. It's got lights and sounds. It looks pretty cool, but again, not my thing. They also showed off the Silk fan choice figure, which is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. They also showed off the Trooper builder of the Hellfire Club Trooper, I guess. It goes with the new Hellfire Club 4-pack that just got released. So if you want to build out your figures for it, go right ahead. Next, they showed off the next wave of Avengers characters. This is from the video game, the EA game that just came out. First, we're going to have Stealth Captain America. He's basically just Captain America in a black suit. It looks pretty good. I don't really care that much. I'm not going to buy it. Next, we have Atmosphere Iron Man, which I do like. It's blue, and it looks pretty good. I don't know. I don't really buy these, but I don't know. I might make an exception for this. Next, they actually previously teased 4 figures by giving us clues that we had to guess, and then these are the 4 figures they announced. So the first one was a figure that was done by Toy Biz, but never done by Hasbro, and that one is the Falcon. So they're doing a classic-looking Falcon, which looks pretty good. The next clue that they previously said was a pre-2014 Hasbro figure that hadn't been done in a long time. This one was King the Conqueror, which looks pretty good as well. The third one was a 3.75-inch Legends figure that hadn't been made into a 6-inch figure yet. I was hoping for Death's Head, but it's going to be Thunderstrike, the 90s not Thor. And lastly, we're getting a figure that has never had an action figure before, and that one is going to be Jocasta. I actually have no idea who this is. I feel really bad. And then they showed off the Build-A-Figure for this wave. It's going to be Joe Fixit, who's basically a Smart Hulk wearing a suit. Next, they showed off the retro line that showed off a couple days ago. I don't really care. It's a 3.75-inch 5 POA figure set of different Marvel characters that come in 2-packs. If it's your thing, good on you. Next, they showed off the Marvel 616. It's like a documentary series on Disney Plus. They have an episode about Hasbro and like Marvel toys and things like that. I'm definitely gonna watch it, but during this time, the chat was particularly awful. I'm actually pretty interested in the documentary, so I mean, like, come on. And then lastly, they showed off some future releases for 2021. So these aren't coming out, they're not up for pre-order. The other figures I announced were up for pre-order already, but these are not. So first, they showed off the next Spider-Man wave, which comes out again next year. And it's going to be figures from Into the Spider-Verse. So first, we're getting an updated Miles Morales, who's based on his actual movie likeness. I know they released a 2-pack a while ago, but these are completely new figures, completely new sculpts. They look great. So Miles Morales is first. The next one is going to be Spider-Gwen, who again also based on her, pretty much spot on her movie design. And she's also going to come with a Spider-Ham. Next, they announced the Build-A-Figure for this wave, which is surprisingly, it's Stiltman. Stiltman is tall. And one of the cool things is his legs, which stack on each other, come with a hand ninja. So you can army build your ninja as well as simultaneously making your Stiltman as tall as you want. They didn't show off the whole wave there, so there's some figures in that wave that we haven't seen yet. The next one they showed off was a Villains wave. They only showed 2 figures from this. The first one is Arcade. I only really know Arcade because I had that old awful X-Men game that Arcade was the villain of. It was a terrible game, but Arcade looks okay. They also are going to do a classic Dormammu. And that's it. Those are the only 2 figures we have of that wave, but they want to show them off. There's going to be some exclusive figures coming out. The first is going to be a deluxe Infinity Gauntlet Classic Thanos, because 2021 is like the 40th or 60th or something anniversary of the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't remember how long ago it was, and I'm not going to look it up right now. Anyways, they're doing a classic comic-based Thanos. He's got like a snap gesture on it. It looks pretty good. They also showed off a Walgreens exclusive Dark Silver Surfer, which looks pretty good as well. He's got Mjolnir and he's got like a fist fire effect thing going on. It looks pretty good. They also showed off some House of X wave figures. There's a Moira, the Professor X, who doesn't use a chair, and he's got the big helmet, the Cerebro helmet thing, and then the all-white Magneto. Obviously, there's going to be some more figures in that wave as well, but I think these look pretty good. And then they moved on to some of the classic retro figures that they started doing, but they're going to add to that the classic retro Gambit. This one has a new head sculpt with flowier hair instead of the spikier hair, new brighter colors, better card decos with the actual suits on the cards, and an extra C-grip hand, or cuppy hand as I like to call it, for better staff poses. To go along with that, they also showed off the new Classics Rogue. So the people that didn't get the Jim Lee Rogue from the Juggernaut wave, this one's gonna have new hair sculpt, also brighter colors, and it comes with an alternate hand that's holding a glove and an ungloved hand, and then 2 fisty gloved hands. These are gonna be Target exclusive later this year, or Toys R Us exclusive in Canada, and I'm again told that Target is gonna have tons of these. They also showed off the very end of the panel Firestar, which is going to be a 2021 figure, because 2021 is the 40th anniversary of Spider-Man and his amazing friends. So if you have a Spider-Man and an Iceman, you're going to get a Firestar to go right with that. And that was it for the panels. They did end the convention with an artist I'd never heard of. Her name was Lights. And honestly, she wasn't bad. I kind of dug her music. All in all, the worst part of day one of Hasbro PulseCon 2020 were the scripted corporate messages trying to be relevant to today's kids. It got pretty cringy in places, but the worst part was the rampant babies in chat who didn't understand how cons work. When there's a con going on, there's going to be panels you don't care about, but other people do, and that's okay. Just come back when there's one that you do care about. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. You didn't even pay to be there. You're an embarrassment to yourselves and the rest of the toy community, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. But not to go out on a low note, there were some genuine surprises. I think the Drizzt figure looks great, and I would love more D&D figures in the future. I think the holiday figures from the Black Series line were weird, and I don't know, I really like them. I don't really know why, I just do. I also think that the Armorer and Boba Fett both look fantastic. So yeah, the pre-orders went live as soon as PulseCon ended. Hasbro Pulse did take a dump and pretty much everything sold out, although I did end up getting the Armorer, and I got the rest of the figures from a mixture of Amazon and Dorkside Toys. Also, one thing that I hadn't seen mentioned anywhere, but Hasbro quietly put stands on their website. It's $14.99 for 3, and it's the same flight stand that came with the Marvel Legends Black Widow, and I had to get one because why not? So let me know what you're looking forward to. Did you pre-order any of these? I love to read and respond to all of those. Just a reminder that tomorrow are the panels for G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and Transformers, and has a very big danger of being a more expensive day than today even was. But I'm very much looking forward to it. And with that, that's it. That's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far. I hope you found something relevant or interesting here, or at the very least, I hope I was somewhat entertaining. But that's all I've got for you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.